morning, everyone, and welcome to the SonRise Project on this beautiful Sunday morning. I'm so happy that you are here with us in this very safe space where we can learn and laugh and love on each other as we work to heal ourselves and heal our children and our whole family. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'm so excited you see me smiling. If you are looking this morning, you may be listening. You may still be in bed listening on your phone, and that's fine too. I have the beautiful and brilliant Sharon Green back with us this morning to speak on our topic today. Sharon, before I jump in and turn it over to her, Sharon Green is the Executive Director for Sisters Inspiring Sisters. In her role, she works closely with the Board of Directors and oversees the operations of the program to ensure that Black teen girls receive holistic social and emotional resources and support on their journey to becoming resilient, health-conscious, transformational leaders. She was instrumental in partnering with the metropolitan Atlanta school systems, as well as under-resourced communities in Meridian, Mississippi, and Tennessee, and expanding the program to multiple schools and communities. She is a scholastic champion for youth who are all too often overlooked and undervalued. Her personal and professional experiences and her in-depth knowledge of educational processes have made her a unique resource for families who want to explore healthy and practical pathways to achieve their academic and life goals. And she was that for me on more than one occasion. So I'm grateful for that as well. As an acclaimed academic consultant and the founder of Bloomtree Inc., she leverages cutting-edge approaches to, quote, education, enrich, and elevate the whole child, quote. Her insightful and unique coaching style for academic and parent coaching successfully addresses the challenges families face with their children's education and emotional development. Sharon holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in English from Spelman College. She lovingly supports her 3 sons, who she homeschooled, and they are amazing, amazing young men. One is, I believe, are they all graduates, Sharon? All 3 have graduated? Or one is still at Howard?
Graduated in May.
Okay, amazing. Sharon resides in Atlanta, Georgia, and takes pride in being a servant leader supporting the causes she is most passionate about. So this morning, Sharon is back with us to talk about menopause, motherhood, and mental health, the 3 M's. She has spoken in the past with us on grace, which the acronym stands for gratitude, resiliency, acceptance, compassion, and encouragement. She's talked with us about how to find peace, which is so critically important. And this morning, we're talking about motherhood, menopause, and mental health. So with that, I am going to turn it over to my friend Sharon Green, who will lead our conversation this morning. Good
Good.
morning, and thank you for being here.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I am thrilled to have this conversation with you all today. And how it came about is that the last time I was on the call, I was talking with Kelli, and it was just one of those moments. I don't often have to use it, but it does come in handy. We have done talks actually over the years. We did one on the frank, the funny, and
And the brightening and the frightening.
during that time, I just got a hot flash. I think during that time, I was still a little embarrassed about having menopause, but at age 56, I could care less.
Absolutely. And when you're our age and
And
you've got
I'm not fanning because I for theatrics, I am literally um, hot right now. And that might be just because of excitement. I don't have my air condition on. And, I just need to, the hot and the cold and the hot and the cold.
yeah, the back and the forth all day long.
Right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But we're going to add some other pieces to it. And so I just want you all to really get with me in this conversation about navigating life's roller coaster, right? Menopause, yes. Motherhood, yes. Mental health. And it's with a dash of humor. And when I talk about mental health, I'm talking about our mental health And I'm also talking about us dealing with our children who are young adults who are not making always the best decisions in their mental health journey. Those who have students with bipolar 1 or 2, schizophrenia, severe depression, anxiety, paranoia, or all of the above. And I do have a son, age 27, who is bipolar, schizoaffective disorder at times, and that does come and go. We can talk about that later, but we also have anxiety, severe anxiety. So I'm just thrilled to be here. I'm going to be asking lots of questions of you all. I'm not afraid of the silence. If you choose to answer out loud, you can raise your hand and the moderator will choose you, or you can put it in the chat and read it to me. I'm not going to be able to read that and talk to you all at the same time, because even though I am a multitasker, menopause and age 56 has told me to slow it all the way down. And that's one of the things that I want to encourage you. So let's talk about motherhood for a minute. Those of us on the call who are mothers, we are mothers by birthright. We're mothers by gifting, we're mothers by adopting, or all of the above. And we could have a combination of it. We could have our child who is born through us, or we could have a child that's been given to us at age 14. Motherhood is not a singular definition of when we start. It's just that we are in it. And so I really want to just say, at any point that you become a mother, or whether you become a Monty, I don't know if some of you have had an opportunity, but I have a coaching client who is on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's a Monty, right? She is a mother who was an aunt due to mental health disorders in her family, and she's been very frank about it. And so we call her a Monty, and she received her children at age, they were 12 and 10 at the time. So as I said, whenever, but at any point that you're gifted these beautiful human beings, you get no direction. Has anybody gotten a book? No. Now, of course, we have the Bible, the Quran, and our spiritual paths, but we don't get any direction on how and what to be a mother. And so that's the intuitive self that we have to listen to, right? And in that intuitive self, you feel, oh my God, I got to wake up. Something's going on with the baby. Oh, they have a fever, or oh, they're hungry. You don't know how you get these messages, you just know. And even at the older age, right? My oldest went to college at 16. I called him one day. I just shared this with a client, a 16-year-old of mine. So he's in school, and I just felt, oh my God, he's drinking. I call. He doesn't answer till the next morning. Hello. I was like, dude, why are you drinking? How do you know I was drinking? I feel terrible. I know you do. You don't mix white and black or brown liquor.
Clear liquor.
And he's just like, huh? How'd you know? Intuitively, I knew well, cursing was allowed because he was over 18. That's why you feel the way you do. Don't do it again. And that's why they say wait till you're 21 so you can make a little better decision. Not at 16. I'm not gonna drink anymore. I feel terrible. Well, okay, lesson you learn, right? So your intuitive self is what really helps you through that process of being a mother. And so then you're going through the stages of motherhood, right? You're dealing with everything. They're a teenager most times, or a young adult. And then this thing called menopause shows up. You're like, wait, what? How does that work, right? So let's start with this question. Have you ever felt like your life is a sitcom and you're the main character, and then you have your children as the quirky sidekick, and you're sitting there in a situation like, what is going on?
All the time. And I'm sure there are people that may want to come off of mute and say yes, all the time, every day. Uh-huh.
So you're in the throes of menopause, right? Or perimenopause, because perimenopause can start early, like 35. I'm not going to go into the technicalities of menopause, but we do have 3 stages, right? We have the perimenopause, menopause, and menopause starts, ladies, after 1 year. I'm not
Mm,
seeing. I know many women who it right at the 11th month, 28th day, bam, and they got to start right back all over again.
mm,
So I really want to suggest to you that if you aren't in menopause, but you feel the pairing, you are going to still go through some of the same things that we're going to be talking about. But when you're in that and you have a teenager or a young adult who is now in their throes, because their frontal lobe is not closed and they're doing all these crazy things. So everybody's screaming in the house, running after the kid, yelling, screaming, angry, doors are shutting, everybody's got an issue. So what do you do? What do you think about at that time? You really don't think about any of those things, of the right things, and how we have to have conversations or not have conversations because we're not ready to have that conversation yet, right? And so, what I want you all to look at is finding the humor in some of it. Because if everybody's yelling, guess what? No one's hearing anybody. And then it becomes even more chaotic and feelings are hurt. All kinds of emotions are put up, and I'm not being heard. You're being disrespectful. I have sacrificed my life for you. I've spent all this money for you. I can't believe you've done this and done that. And the pain, the disappointment, the expectations, right? So let's look. Let's just sit back for a minute. So you're hot, right? And the kid comes in and says something stupid to you. Yeah, literally stupid. But you're mad at yourself because you're having all these emotional feelings, right? So what I suggest is to sit back or just walk away. Mom, you didn't hear me. Why are you walking away? I can't do this right now. And then you say to yourself, well, I should be fully present for them. But when you're dealing with all of these emotions and physical being way, because we're not the weight gain, the body smells, the joint pain. No one's listening to you. You got to go to work. You got to go to church. You got to do all these things. And then you're supposed to be fully present for everybody else. And I know everyone, it's the big thing now. Oh, meditate. Oh, say a prayer. Oh, get into a mode where you're doing self care. But sometimes you just need to sit still and do nothing. Close your door, lock it, and let all that chaos happen. Because guess what? It really is just not that important. And so, how does one laugh? You could just sit there and listen. I do it all the time. I'm like, that's some craziness right there. I wouldn't do it. I don't know why you doing it. I'm out. Mommy, but I got to talk to you about this. No, you don't, because I'm not responsible for that information. Guess what? They're over 18. Now, I'm not talking about under 18. You got a lot more responsibility. Today is about 18 and older, all the way up to 30s. You can say, you know what? I done choked you a lot. Not doing that. Now, I've done some things in my life, but I don't need to share it with you because I think I've given you enough. And if you need someone else to talk to about this, I'm not doing it because I got my own stuff going on. Mommy. Now, that's the only way they can hear you between 18 and about 28. They don't hear, well, let's have a conversation. I'm going through menopause. I'm feeling a way about some things. And sometimes I might say, no, they're not hearing that. So you got to just release it, right? And then if you're in the middle of a hot flash and they're in the middle of an irritated situation, that is a recipe for a disaster, an absolute disaster. True story. My youngest one, who's 21, he was in the throes of my divorce, cancer, him trying to go to college, and menopause. Because for me, I didn't go through the natural process of menopause. I went through what's called medical induced, and that's worse in the sense that literally I had surgery, I think on like a Thursday, and Monday I was in menopause. And my body was just like, wait, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And so it got to a point where he literally, I used to have fans around, and he learned about menopause real quick. He was like, "Oh, she is on one. Let me leave her alone." And I would, "Where's my fan? Where's my fan?" And he would run around and look for my fan, and I would strategically place them around because guess what? I would forget where I put them. I would literally forget where I put them. But he was young enough to understand if I don't keep her chill, I'm not going to get what I want. So there's is a form of manipulation and support that we
Hmm.
put in to help you.
That forgetfulness is making me crack up just this morning. Like I know how important it is to go exercise. So even just getting a 15-minute walk in, 20-minute walk in makes a huge difference. Got home, put my phone down, could not find it. Took me 10 minutes to find the phone. And
Oh, there's so many things that, um, Wendy, the comedian, she gives this really great joke where she's on the phone and she's telling her best friend, "I can't find my phone. I'll call you back when I can find it." And she's literally talking
talking to her on the phone, it's so crazy. Yes.
because we have all of that. And so you just got to laugh about it, right? And just enjoy what that means. There are some very serious aspects of it. And I'll get to that in a moment. But I really want us, just like we were looking forward. How many of you read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret?
Yes.
The introduction to your menstruation. And that was also hilarious. We're now embracing it and having celebrations. I mean, these kids are getting a lot, but for me it was like, you better not get pregnant. That's what my mom told me. Here, this is what you use, don't get pregnant, and left the bathroom. Now we are much more sympathetic and empathetic. And so Gen X, we it was rough. It was really, really rough. So I want to encourage you and support you that now take advantage of all the support that you're getting around menopause. So on a serious note, we're talking about mental health. We're talking about mental health on both sides, right? I have a son who has bipolar disorder and is, as we speak, in a residential treatment center. He's been hospitalized since August 15th and had a really major psychotic breakdown. So much so that I was not allowed to be around him because I was his trigger. And when he called, I was with a client and I answered it because we had a great day. And I answered it on speaker and he went completely off. Of really violent, aggressive rage on the phone.
Because you were on the speaker or because of something you said?
No, it was what he felt. He was
I
looking
see.
for something in the house and couldn't find it.
Got it.
And so my client, I wasn't shocked. I was very calm, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't used to it because he's never really been that aggressive. It was something different. I was extremely calm because I'm practiced in it now, right? Um, my body got tense. I had a headache immediately and I just sat for a while. My client gave me a hug and said, "Who's there for you?" And I had to really sit and think about that. Like, who is there for me? I didn't have anybody to go home to, and I couldn't go home because he was there. And so during that process of him having this rage, his brothers while they were not in state, were on the phone. And long story short, he decided to get treatment. So this is the funny part. I finally get this just, Gahanza, right? And because they were like, "Well, you can't go home. He's going to attack you. It's going to be a problem, da da da." So about 1 o'clock in the morning, I had been sitting in my car all day, all night. I was just like, forget this, right? This is the uh, the the Gahanza, the "I'm a mother, I am, and this is my child. If I brought you in here, I'm gonna take you out. It's gonna be on and popping." I come in the house and I look him dead in the eye, and I'm like, "Hey," he was like, "Hey, mom." I was like,
Back to the normal. Yeah. Back to the that moment. Yeah. Hmm.
and so now I'm angry, right? Because it's not even about the menopausal attitude, mood swinging, rolling, but I'm pissed. because everybody's sleeping but me. And so I come in and I'm like, yo, how you want to deal with this? And I'm just gangster with it. Oh, did I tell you he's 6'2" and, what, 180 something pounds, and of course could take me out. But I was clear today in my 56, 5 foot, 100+ pound. Well, I was going to take him out. I was good. Well, I went to sleep and woke up, and he comes in. Do you really want me to go to the hospital? I was like, yes, let's go. And he runs out. And he's like, let's go. I get dressed. I'm like, whew, let's go. Let's run, right? So I get in there, and he's, of course, nice now, right? We're heading to the hospital. Well, Mom, I want a smoothie. I'm like, sure. Get in the car. We stop to get the smoothie. Why, Sharon? He gets out the car. I'm not going. So now I'm not even concerned about him. I am afraid because my middle son is going to be like, why the would you stop?
Did you stop? Right? Because you know better.
Gosh, what is going on, Sharon? How are you doing this? And so I am cracking up. Like, how do I explain this to Calvin? He is going to kill me. Like, why would you stop for a smoothie with a psychotic person in your car? And I'm cracking up. Did I say he was in a major psychotic episode? And I stopped.
And the fact that you're able to laugh about it is really amazing, actually, because most of us would be freaking out, like,
I share my stories because we've all had that moment. Majority of you on the phone are listening, like, oh my God, I just had that yesterday. Where were you? You gotta, like, yo, this is some craziness, right? And so he's walking down Peachtree Street, and I'm just like, please, Calvani, don't call me because I don't know what I'm gonna say to him, right? And Calvani's the middle one who had negotiated for 4 hours to get him in the car, right? And it is, excuse me, actually, this is the CQA.
no, take your time and do what you need to do, Sharon. Always take the call. Um, I'm smiling as and listening as Sharon is sharing this experience, and I'll share while she deals with what she needs to deal with. Um, you all know Kyle, who is the reason the SonRise Project is born. I'm smiling because I'm experiencing him going through some really good days. He's out at Boulder, CU Boulder, where Deion Sanders is coaching. One of his friends got tickets to the game yesterday. He was at the game, sending great pictures, looks so happy, big smile. Just, seems like he's making progress. And I was traveling about a week ago, had 3 cities in 3 days, and had, doing a bunch of stuff. Wanted to honor my commitments to my clients, but also to my mom and to Chris and Keith, and be where I felt I needed to be. And so Kyle calls me. I'm boarding a plane at 5 in the morning. The flight leaves at 6. So it's about 5:15, 3:15 Boulder time. And he was screaming and so upset outside, walking down the street. Sounded like a busy street somehow at 3 in the morning, Boulder time. And what you just said, Sharon, is so interesting because I had a sense of peace, and all I was doing was listening on the plane as we're boarding and praying. Because in my mind, I thought he sounds completely manic, completely out of sorts, having an episode. And I knew that if somebody were to pull up next to him, or, it could escalate because of how he was presenting. Just was not in that moment, was not able to calm himself down. And it was all because he thought someone stole his passport. And he doesn't have a driver's license because he lost that too. And so he only has his passport. Well, why is that important? The passport allows him to buy his liquor when he wants to go get something to drink. He doesn't have an ID. And so he was losing it. The wild thing for me, and the really interesting and beautiful thing, is that because of SonRise and because of you, Sharon, and so many others that have poured into me, I was able to stay calm and close my eyes and just pray. Just pray and have faith that it's going to be fine. And I said, Kyle, please walk home. Please get back to your dorm. It's going to be okay. And he's screaming and hollering, I don't care about these mofos and that's, going off. And at some point, and it was probably a good 15 minutes. At some point, I said, Kyle, they're closing the door. I'm going to have to hang up now. I love you. I want you to get home safely, and I'll check in as soon as I land. And I landed, and he had sent me a text saying, sorry, Mom, I found it. That was another Kyle. And it was an interesting self reflection of he saw that he was like having an out of body experience. He was able to articulate, apologize for his erratic behavior, and he was back home. But in that moment of, oh my goodness, it was really scary. But there's also nothing we can do except pray and have faith over fear. That's it. That's it. So I just, I feel how different that moment was versus 3 years ago when something like that would happen and I would easily escalate with him. And that doesn't help anybody
No, it
at
doesn't.
all.
It
So
doesn't.
is everything okay?
It is. So, as I was sharing real life, I can't make this stuff up. I
Yeah.
love, I love the work that I do and the conversations that I have, and the frank and the realness of how things operate. As I was sharing with you all the story, they called. Ezekiel only gets to talk to me twice a week, on Tuesdays and Fridays, for 20 minutes, and that's really good for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was a call about a therapy session. He is deep diving into therapy and
Right.
going through the process. And so he was like, "Oh, Mom, I've been making up these stories," because that was the other piece. He was attacking me on what he perceived in his life, and
Yeah.
it was not true. He had to really go through the process, and it's taken him to this point. And so that was the call
I'm
about.
glad that you took the call. That's so important. And can we?
Yeah, wherever I am in life, I could be
Mm-hmm.
on stage, I could be on TV, I could be in the bathroom. When it comes to my children, they know that I will be there.
Yeah,
I do have boundaries with them. However, they know that I'm dropping everything. So I keep my phone near me, right?
absolutely.
Especially knowing in times like this. And I want to support you all that there's not ever a situation that you can't say, excuse me for a moment.
That's right.
Whatever you're doing
Family first. Mm-hmm.
first, loved ones first, right? Or you can
Right.
I've entered big meetings in the last couple of weeks, to say, I do have to keep my phone near me. And if I have,
Right. Absolutely.
I'll step away. And everybody's is fine, with that. But I want
Can
to
you
go.
go back to before the call happened? You were in the car. He got out of the car. How did you get him to end up in the hospital? What was that like?
Walking down Peachtree, I'm driving behind him, and I'm just like, oh Lord Jesus, what is this going to look like? And so um, he left something in the car, and I just pulled up next to him, and I said, oh, here's your thing. And I think it was a phone or something. And because I needed a way to communicate with him in case this was going to go downhill, right? So I said, oh, here's your phone. You left your phone in the car. And he looks at me and he goes, go park across there. He goes, you want me to go with you? And I was like, yeah. And this time I drove 90 miles an hour. I got on the highway as quick as I was going to take a scenic route, just to talk to him. But I got my butt on the highway.
You going straight there. Uh-huh. I know that's right.
And it's just like, okay, all right, well, I'll do this. And the journey has been, pretty cool. He's come into his own about some things, and I am thankful for his awakening, but I've also set boundaries. And so I want to say to you all, in the midst of the crisis situation,
Mm-hmm.
I am one of those who reacts nervous and I laugh, right? Or smirk. And that can be, an agitator. But what I want to suggest to you is that as much as the situation seems in a major crisis, like even if you had to um, um, Baker Act him or 1013, depending on what part of the country you're in, to call the police, you still can find someone or music or something to help diffuse the situation, for a brief moment. Your
Mm-hmm.
child is with a serious mental disorder. It is a misfire
Mm-hmm.
in their brain. That's why Kyle could, as that what you actually were doing as he was walking, his endorphins were building.
Yeah.
So he was calming down. That's what was happening. And so sometimes it could be just a matter of finding a way to get them to exercise immediately or finding a safe word. But when
At
you're,
3 in the morning in the middle of Boulder, Colorado, and you're screaming and hollering, it can be, it is scary.
it's jarring,
And
right?
then you also want to stay on the phone so that if anything does go down, you can at least be on the phone. But it's hard, you
Well, I
know.
also say sometimes you might need to have other people. I've talked about this before about strategies that
Mhm.
that you can call and they can come in on the call as well,
Yeah, that's a
right?
good point. Yeah,
So I use my other sons, right? Sometimes they're in on the call and not saying a word until they should. They're hearing,
yeah.
dealing with whatever is going on. Um, Mental health practitioners, some states allow that. But here's the thing: when you're in
Mhm.
your mother mode of
Mhm.
this, it's protection, right?
Yeah,
Secure. Oh, I don't want anything to happen. But sometimes you got to be like I was, a hard person and be like, yo, bump all of that. I'm saving me, and this is what I have to deal with. And these are and they can snap them back in. And how do you figure that out? It's just really trusting your gut and
yeah,
having a level of discernment of the situation. And
yeah.
as a mother, I'm telling you all, it is the best medicine in the world.
Hmm.
Know how and what to do. They were her, my sons and their dad was like, you got to call the police. You got to call the police because it
Hmm.
was really just that bad. And I was like, no, you call the police. I'm not doing that to my son.
Hmm.
Right? That's
Hmm.
the mother in me. Like I'm not gonna.
Right.
No, if he goes into the, and I wasn't even praying. I was just like, no, you all can take that action if you feel that way, right? And through that process, I got this muster of energy and toughness that came.
Hmm.
Like, no, this is Sharon Green. No, I'm
Right.
this. No, we gonna if I brought you in, I'm gonna take you out. And that's
Right.
it doesn't always have to be that way. It doesn't even have to be combative with people. It can be combative in your mind. And what you decide is gonna happen, that you can make happen. And
Hmm.
then lastly,
And I think I just want to piggyback on that point that you make, Sharon. And I think in the depth of your spirit, you know that your child would never hurt you. Like you know that deep down, like they're good kids. So when they're good children, they love you, and they would never ever hurt you. And I know that that's in those moments of rage. It's like, woo, it looks like a different person. There's a moment of, okay, wait a minute, who is that?
I also want to just, the funny of menopause, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's just a blessing and a curse all in one, right? And I do want you to know that you all are going to you will see the other end of it, the other side of it. I have an 87-year-old mother who is with dementia, but she is a spiral. Her knees work better than mine most days. She loves to dance and have a good time. And as I watch her age gracefully, I also see the things about what is coming for me later on in life. And so I just want to encourage you all, if you have your mother or your aunts, to really look at how they're aging. And there are things that you can do that they're doing and also prevent. And so diet and lifestyle, exercise during perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Exercise is critical. And I'm not talking about yoga, medicine. I'm talking lifting weights. Lifting weights doesn't have to be heavy weights. I like to lift heavy weights, but if lifting weights helps with your joints and your muscle pain, and also back pain, drinking water is critical, 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 critical. And here's one other piece: if you go to your doctor and they say, well, we don't really see anything wrong with you, it's time to change your doctor. You need to have someone who is specializing in the effects of menopause, perimenopause, and postmenopause as well, because you're not crazy. And you don't need to be with anyone who is telling you that, oh, you're too young for this, or oh, you're too old, or oh, you're finished, because there are doctors who don't get us, right? And this is, I'd like you all to listen to Dr. Sharon Harden, and also Dr. Jane Morgan. You can find them on Instagram. And these two women are Black women doctors. One's a GYN, and the other one is a cardiologist. And they have a lot of great talks about menopause, right? And about the fears that we have around the pellets. I do have the pellets. I had to. I wasn't doing this for no 10 years. My personality, my life, I gained a lot of weight during my chemotherapy, and then I lost it, and then I gained it all back during menopause. Vanity is a thing of mine. So, I was very diligent on wanting to figure out how I could lose the weight, because I couldn't carry it. My frame could not carry it. My joints were painful, and I couldn't fit my clothes. I was depressed because of it. And it's a real thing, right? And so I want to encourage you. There is a lot of stigma around taking supplements and also doing the pellets. But I'm here to tell you, there are Black women doctors who are strong proponents who will not steer you in the wrong direction. And they are having these conversations about it nationally. So you don't necessarily have to go to them, but you can advocate for yourself in the work that you're doing. So I'm going to stop talking and just say thank you for real time of dealing with my son. And also, I hope that this conversation has been engaging and thoughtful, allow you to ask some questions of yourself and seek ways that are confirmations, affirmations, as well as directions that you want to take in your life from here and out. And it's always a thrill, a thankful, joyful opportunity to be on the SonRise Project.
Oh, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing. And I just want to double click on one of the people you just mentioned, Dr. Sharon Malone. She was my OBGYN. I think that's who you were referencing. And she retired to do all of this work around menopause. Like, this is what her specialty is. I just put her link. It's drsharonmalone.com. She is so fantastic.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yep, no worries. No worries. I put her link in there, and she is based in the DMV. She actually delivered my children, was my OBGYN for many years. She is phenomenal, and she talks about thriving in menopause, which is what this is all about. It's like, how do we learn to thrive versus just, surviving day to day. And getting through the hot flashes, or someone calls them power surges, which I love that. How do we think about it as a power surge? It's like, woo, because it does come from within, and you feel like, oh my goodness, my whole body is hot. So Dr. Sharon Malone, I put her link in. And then Sharon, who was the other person that you referenced?
Dr. Jane Morgan. I'll give you her IG.
Okay. And I'd love to open it up for questions. If anybody wants to ask a question of Sharon, she is an incredible expert. And she talks about people don't give us books, but they give us people. God gives us people that are little gems, I find, that have given me tools along the way over these last 4 years. It's been quite a journey. But if anyone has a question or a thought or want to share with Sharon Green this morning, feel free to come off of mute. If you're on your phone, it's *6, or you can come on. If you're on your computer, just hit the unmute button. Happy to have you join the conversation.
And her is Dr. Jane, Jayne, Morgan, Morgan. And that's her IG.
Okay. Jayne. It looks like she has a website as well.
Yes.
No, this is a doctor. This is a acupuncturist. Let me find her.
Cardiologist. If you go on the IG.
Okay. Any Any questions from anyone today, this morning, or any thoughts for for Sharon Green? Sharon Malone? No, Sharon Green. Let me get it right.
Yeah,
My
no.
menopause right there.
Yeah, no, I don't have any. Um,
How do you feel about, what are your thoughts on taking hormone therapy or doing any of those things? Have you done that? And do you recommend that?
so for me, yes. I, as I said, mine was medical induced, so there are
Yeah.
different transitions that you go through, and so I was in the full throes of it. My body was not able to transition like most people, most women can. Um, I went to a functional medicine doctor as well. She is an OBGYN by medical practice. And it was a journey because I'm a triple negative breast cancer survivor. And here's the funny part of it, I had to get permission from my sons in order to get the pellets because for it, so there's
What?
yeah, there's a book called Estrogen Matters, right? And so when you are triple negative, it is said that if you have the pellets or especially estrogen, that you could get cancer again, and that I would end up in a more severe situation. And so legally, I had to have a conversation um, with my sons and have them sign that if anything were to happen to me. So these little ones, well, they were all adults, but they're men, right? So my first one was like, well, he's the neuroscientist. And he was just like, well, you should think about this and the ramifications of what it will do to your body. I was like, you are not doing menopause. And I was in full throw at that time. The middle one was like, well, do whatever you want. And then the youngest one was like, well, I'm not signing. I think you should just deal with it. Well, I don't know if it was menopause or just me. I cursed those little ones out because I could not get it without their permission because she did not want the legal ramifications. And so I went to a doctor
Mm.
and she told them, all the scientific things of what could happen, what couldn't happen, and agreed that it was a good thing for me. And then they signed. The way she got them to sign was that annually that they would revisit how I was doing. So I'm in year 3 with it, and I get them anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on how I feel, and I do feel the difference. Like I'll start biting, and like not literally biting, but just getting angry, mood swings, and I'm like, oh, 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 it's time to check in, or I'll start getting hot like I am now, and I'm about to go ahead and do that. Not every There's so much. I really want you all to listen to what Dr. Morgan and Dr. Malone say about it. But as Black women and women of color, the things that we feel is escalated 1,000 times worse than what our white counterparts have, and that's due to the micro and macroaggression of racism, and it is also because of the systemic things that we deal with economically, socially, and the impact of being a mother. So I really want and encourage you all to educate yourself, not to say no without being informed. You can still say no. It is not an intrusive process. Um,
What
and
is it, Sharon? Someone's asking, what is a pellet?
um, well, you have to go through uh, a workup, a blood workup, and they look at your levels. They do a very comprehensive blood panel. Right now, when you go to the doctors, they don't do the extensive. They don't do your protein, the creatine, the A1C, unless you're diabetic. But this does a whole a panel that's probably about 3 or 4 pages of blood work. And then they will create the pellet to match the hormone imbalances that you have in your body, estrogen and testosterone. And then you can take progesterone. And then you don't get that in the pellet. It's an incision that's given to you, and it's inserted inside of you. And then it takes a few weeks to adjust to your body. And then by about month 4, the initial time, a month 2 or 3, you start feeling a lot better. And for some women, weight just starts dropping because your balance is gone. You definitely, your mood swings, the hot flashes go, and you just really feel like you're in control of yourself again, versus when you're not.
Mm. But it's an incision and a pill is put into your body.
Into your body. Yeah, usually
Mm.
in your behind. Some women, I think, do it in their thigh, but I think most people, and then they monitor you and they do blood work every time. Which
Mhm.
uh,
Another person is asking a question. Do you have any experience with using herbal or natural medication to manage declining levels of estrogen?
so for
She's-
me, I was
Mhm.
induced. I had a full hysterectomy, due to concerns around uh, ovarian cancer. So no, I could not. I have nothing. My body's. I have, no. So it would not work for me. I do believe in ashwagandha. I do believe in lion's mane, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc. I take those on a daily basis.
Something that Sharon, Dr. Malone, I should say, spoke about at a conference I was at. And it's a company I feel like she's either one of it started, myalloy.com. They have all kinds of menopausal relief. And it looks like, I don't know if it's prescription or not. Some of the little, I'm on their website, myalloy.com.
Yeah, some of them are. The most important thing for us as Black women is that we're afraid, right, of the nuances of life that have to do with the medical healthcare facility, and it makes sense. But there are some struggles and there are some things that are really, in support for you to have a very good quality of life. I have the same conversation with my son who's bipolar. He has decided to take the Abilify shot. He was very against taking it because he has more information than most about what it does to your body from a cellular level. But it's about a quality of life and how can you function in a way that to live your purpose life in this world, for this time. So he has made a decision based on being educated of, creating a way that he can do it. And it was a choice. And so it's the same thing with menopause. I'm not saying that you should, but I would encourage you before you say, no, I'm not doing that. Just do some research. Just
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
and if your doctor is, not, supportive, then get a second or third opinion. I had
Yeah.
to, I had to do that.
And
Yeah.
I think so many of the menopausal symptoms, for me, I'm past the hot flash, the power surges. I'm past those. I'm past a lot of them. But what I'm seeing more is this anxiety. I've never had anxiety. And I know that's one of the symptoms, but it's really been interesting. It's like I need something to deal with that. And somebody sent me, let me find what it was. It's some sort of root that she swears by. I saw this woman at an event the other day. Um, and she said, oh, I swear by this. Let me see what it's called. And then there's another question for you, Sharon. Someone says, I'm going to find it. Oh, it's called dragon herbs.
Yes, I have.
How in a bottle. Have you taken that?
I have not. I've not. Again, I'm probably not as unique. I mean, there are, thousands of women like myself, but do understand I am a shell. And so a lot of herbs will support me to a certain extent, but because I don't have my ovaries and my uterus anymore, it's not going to affect those areas. But no, I don't do sugar. And I just recently stopped, caffeine. Um, Black cohosh is very good. It works for people, that I'm aware of. Remember, if you're going through a natural phase of perimenopause, then you can get ahead of it by taking the natural herbs, and it will ease up, your process. There are a lot of things on the market. I would encourage you to have conversations with your doctor, around that,
Yeah.
so that it can help, guide what is the best approach for you, through this process. As far as a clean diet, yes, I actually have been toying with, being a fruitarian. I
What?
Yeah, I did a 21-day fruit. Uh,
Oh, wow.
it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
How do you get protein?
Well, they missed the nuts, avocado, and then I transitioned it. Well, I only did it for 21 days, but I really enjoyed the fruits. It was right at the end of the summer season,
Mm,
so the fruits were plentiful. I
mm,
don't think I'll do it for the winter, but I am definitely well. So D, it is not, as I said, recommended for medically induced menopause. However, um, it is an option if you talk to your doctor about what can or cannot happen for you. It's a very individual. I would recommend that you read a book called Estrogen Matters. Again, I don't make decisions in a silo. I love to research, um, and it is important for each of us as individuals in this world to research, or if you have to be support for others who might not be able to have that, you can advocate for them, your children, your loved ones, i.e., mom or
mhm,
dad, who might not be able to make those decisions. But no, most doctors are going to say absolutely not. You cannot. Um,
mhm,
and I know
mhm.
doctors who would not have given me the pellets, but I'm 4 years in with the pellets,
Mm,
and so and I am well. No, I'm 3 years in with the pellets, and in January I'm a 5 year survivor of triple negative.
that's awesome. Congratulations. And I think the key that you said earlier, I just want to reiterate too, is to consult your doctor. But I do think that's important to consult your doctor. We're not medical experts, just giving you some tips that we've learned. And what I'm learning mostly is that I didn't know a lot about menopause. I didn't stop to look at it. And when I looked at symptoms recently, and I went to that Dr. Sharon Malone mentioned myalloy.com. I went there and thought, oh, this explains so much. Because some of these recent anxiety attacks, it's like, I don't I've never had that before
Right.
now, up until now.
And no feeling is you're not crazy. A lot of times they want to dismiss
Mm,
that, oh, you'll feel better, right? Even body odor. You can go on Facebook or IG. Facebook is really good for those different groups. There's Black women in menopause, there's menopause, and there's all kinds of things, rashes that might come up, headaches, consistent headaches or
mhm,
pains, things that might uh, be prescribing what you're thinking to other issues, other disease,
mhm,
but really
mhm.
rally around menopause. One of the best ways to look at menopause is getting a full comprehensive panel, not just the basic blood panel that is standard, but this is a very, it's probably about 20 vials of blood
Mhm.
taking, and they're testing all different kinds. I do that every quarter. And even now I know it's time because my last pellets insert was in May and I'm flashing. And so,
Wow, interesting.
so yeah. But I just really want to support you all in this journey of your second phase of life, and knowing that we have loved ones who have mental illness, um, that we have to put the mask on ourselves first and be in a position to help the be able to listen to them because
Yeah,
everybody's got an opinion, right, on how it should go. But it's
everyone's
really
got an
about
opinion.
your house making or yourself or your community making a decision on how you want to support. And please, please, please do not feel away if you don't feel like you're the one to do it. You can retire yourself and give your young adult the availability to. There are lots of resources out here to support them so that they can move forward in their lives. And
That's
you,
right.
we have committed in our family that we will commit. If Ezekiel is going to need to be taken care of for the rest of his life, that's fine. But he don't have to live with any of us.
Right.
We
And
can
there are
live.
ways to make that possible.
So I just want to support you all.
Is
And
that Kalfani? Hello, Kalfani.
he'll come in.
Hi.
Um, okay. All right.
Um, well, I want to just double click on that. We're out of time, but I want to say, for us, for me, Sharon, thank you so much. You've been a tremendous supporter since I first met you. I think it was 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And you flew to DC, and we were in the height of the height of our journey. I'm never going to say challenges. It was the height of our journey from significant pain to purpose. And you really helped back then and even now. And today, what an interesting topic, because going through menopause, I had no idea. Like, no idea what all these nuances are. But I think your what you just said is our journey is our journey, and we're doing the best we can. And I also remember you saying, give yourself grace. If we give ourselves grace, smile, and breathe through it all, there is light on the other side.
There is light.
So thank you for being here this morning. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you. I hope that was informative and everyone got a little nugget out of it.
Absolutely. Lots of nuggets. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Tiara to close us out with a prayer.
So, Father God, we thank you. We thank you for another Sunrise Sunday. We thank you for Kelli and family for providing this platform. We thank you for Sharon Green for her courageous discussion of what is often a taboo topic. We pray that our village was blessed by the knowledge and insight that she shared today. God, we pray that you give us the grace to navigate every physical and spiritual transition that we may face in this life. We pray that you bless every person on this call and their families. May they have a powerful, positive, productive, and peaceful week in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And Keith will be here next week. I will be traveling with some of my line sisters. And so I will not be on, but Keith will be here for a special conversation. And so please join us next Sunday and have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And Sharon, I'll give you a touch base a little later today.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Take care. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.